Your LinkedIn profile is your digital first impression. Recruiters and hiring managers are checking it before they even decide to interview you. The problem is most job seekers treat LinkedIn like a copy-paste resume, and that's costing them interviews and opportunities. In this video, I'm breaking down the 7 key areas you must optimize to create a LinkedIn profile that gets noticed and helps you land your ideal job opportunity. And because I want to help you stay prepared and confident, I've put together my Career Advancement Toolkit AI Edition. It's packed with my best LinkedIn profile scripts, resume templates, and of course, AI-powered prompts to take your job search to the next level. Now, the first 20 people to grab it using the link below will get access to an exclusive offer just for this community. Hey, I'm Heather Austin, a university professor turned entrepreneur, and with over 20 million views on this channel, I've helped thousands of job seekers just like you build standout resumes, ace interviews, and land life-changing job offers. Now, I go live on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern right here on this channel with free job search and career trainings. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss a session. Now, whether you're actively job searching or you just want to attract better job opportunities, this video is for you. So let's jump right in. Now, the very first thing that you always want to make sure you have optimized is your professional headshot. Now, I'm going to share examples and what it should look like as we're going throughout today's masterclass. But just know that's always going to be number 1, top of the list. The next thing after that is going to be your LinkedIn headline. I am going to tell you a little bit today about the different types of headlines that you can use for LinkedIn. However, what we've done inside the Toolkit AI Edition is we have included a lot of examples, resources, AI prompts, anything that you need to actually really hone in and have the perfect headline. Today, I'm going to give you kind of an overview of what that looks like. You also want to make sure you have your LinkedIn About summary optimized. Now, this is, again, I've said this so many times before, this is one of the most overlooked sections on LinkedIn, but this is where you really want to be intentional with your keywords, what you're putting in that summary, because that's what a lot of times recruiters, when they go to search for someone that does what you do, a lot of those keywords will pop through to them, and then hopefully you show up as one of their top 10, top 20 searches. So LinkedIn About summary, I'm going to show you an example in just a second. We always want to make sure our work experience is optimized. I hate when I go to a LinkedIn profile and I see someone just has their title and that's it, and the place that they work, and they have no information on that work experience section. So I'm going to show you an example of that in a second as well. Education and training, this is a big one. Make sure you have this one optimized. Skills and endorsements. So you guys, if you've been to any of my LinkedIn sessions before, you know that LinkedIn is going for a skills-based recruiter approach. So that means a lot of recruiters, when they go to the platform and they search for someone that, again, does what you do, if you have certain skills in your profile, you're going to pop up higher on their search results. And then finally, recommendations. So we're going to dive into all of this, and I'm going to show you guys examples of all of that in just a second. Now, question for you, of all of those sections that I just introduced to you, which part of your profile do you struggle with the most? I'll pop that slide back up, but which part of your profile do you struggle with the most? So I like to call this my 7 to 8 sections. I've combined skills and endorsements, even though those typically are 2 different sections on LinkedIn. But when you look at this slide, which one do you think that you struggle with the most? Pop that into the chat. While you're popping that in, let me show you an example of each of these items. So when we talk about your profile photo, this is where you want to make sure you have a good profile photo, right? And I'm actually not super opposed to selfies as I used to be, because I do think cameras take an okay picture, but if you can even have someone else take it for you, I think that that's ideal. But with your profile photo, you want to make sure it's clear. Make sure you include like a recent photo. Don't use something from like 5, 10, 15 years ago. Put something that looks like you right now. Make sure it's professional. Make sure it's relevant to your industry. Make sure you have like a facial expression that looks friendly, right? Don't like be grumpy in your photo. Make sure it's like, oh, I would like to reach out to that person, right? You want to have a plain neutral background if you can, nothing busy. Make sure that you're also kind of from the elbows up. right? Or even like shoulders up. You can see in my profile photo, I'm just like elbows up so that we can actually see your face. Okay. So that's going to be one of the first things that you want to consider. Now, the next piece to your profile is again going to be your headline. So this is going to be one of the most important sections in addition to your about summary. When it comes to the headline, I'm going to share with you 3 different ways that you can write your headline. So with the headline, you want it to be concise. You want to include keywords and keyword phrases that are relevant to your industry. You also want to make sure, if you can, highlight some sort of unique skill or some sort of expertise. I do not want you to have anything like the default LinkedIn headline, which LinkedIn will automatically take your current job title and they'll put that in the headline. Hopefully most of you guys, for all of my regular amazing community that is here, hopefully you guys aren't doing that anymore. Hopefully you have it tailored somewhat to your industry and to the position or career opportunity that you're looking for. And then we're never going to, again, have actively seeking, right? We're never going to put like actively looking for a job or please hire me or whatever sometimes people put in there. So I'm going to share 3 different ways that you can write the headline. I'm not going into detail into each of these items because we would be here forever today. Again, if you want more information on that, that is in our Toolkit AI edition. But when it comes to the headline, there's 3 methods that I want you to employ. One of 3 of these, right? You can always include your desired position title. You can have some sort of industry specific hard skills after that. The next method is your desired position title, your industry specific hard skills, and then some sort of value proposition. So the value proposition is, what do you bring to the table? What are you offering? What makes you so unique out of anyone else? The third method that you could put into practice here is desired position title again, your industry specific hard skills, and then some sort of results driven achievement statement. I actually like the value proposition. So method number 2 is one of my favorites. Again, I'm not sharing examples with you guys today because we have so much to cover. And if you want examples, templates, specifics, all that good stuff, make sure you take a look at the toolkit. Now, in addition to your LinkedIn headline, right? After your LinkedIn headline is going to be your LinkedIn about summary. So when it comes to the about summary, this is one of the examples that we provide to our toolkit members, but this shows you how you can kind of break things up in your summary. One of the worst things when I go to LinkedIn profiles, and by the way, I look at a lot of LinkedIn profiles with my coaching sessions with my Career Academy members, is if you just have like paragraphs of text, you haven't really written it out thoughtfully, it's too much overload, you're not using any formatting. And by the way, you can't really format a lot on LinkedIn, but you can capitalize things, you can add symbols in there, you can do certain things to make it more readable. So when we look at the summary with paragraph 1, this is where we're talking a little bit about what we're most passionate about in our career. We're talking about what drives us most about the choice of our career. We're talking about why we're dedicated to this industry. We're talking a little bit about who we are, who we help, and why we help them. Now, when we look at the second paragraph of our LinkedIn about summary, this is where you're starting to mention the commitment that you have to solving some of the industry's largest pain points or some of your industry's largest pain points. You can start including volunteer work here. You can even include, if you're transitioning careers or if you have a career gap, you can mention something like that in paragraph 2. You can also mention something fun. So I always recommend to everyone, add some sort of personality here. Remember, when it comes to LinkedIn, it is your online resume. However, you can speak in first person, where on a resume, you're not going to do that, right? So when it comes to LinkedIn, you can start saying I, me, and my, and you can talk with a little bit more expression, with a little bit more personality, and with a little bit more character. Now, after paragraph 2, inside of the summary, is where I like to see your professional career highlights. Now, if you've ever watched a resume writing video of mine, you know that if you're an experienced professional, you're going to have some highlights at the top of your resume. You can actually just take those same highlights and pop them into your LinkedIn profile, right? And inside of that about summary. This is going to, again, be like 3 to 4 solid bullet points. We want these to be accomplishment oriented. We want them to be results driven. Again, anytime you can get numbers, data, metrics, timelines, anything like that in there, recruiters love to see that and hiring managers love to see that. So again, we want that to be inside of the about summary. Now, below that paragraph, I always like to have some sort of expertise section. So what I'll do is I'll just capitalize the word expertise and I'll get those keywords or keyword phrases that are so specific to either my job title or my industry, and I'll put those right into the expertise section. Now, a repetition of this is the skills section in the About summary. This is where LinkedIn allows you to add up to 5 skills that, again, will catch the attention of recruiters. These are skills that you can start to get endorsed for, which I'll show you a little bit about endorsements in just a second here. But the expertise section and then the top skills, that's kind of a reiteration of that. You can repeat those in the expertise section. I actually highly recommend that you do, just because, again, that's like another keyword or keyword phrase that's showing up on your profile, and hopefully you're getting found by using the right keywords and keyword phrases. Now, my next question for you is, how would you rank your LinkedIn About summary? So on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your LinkedIn About summary? Now, after your summary is your experience section. So I'm going to kind of break the experience section down a little bit. We always want some sort of catchy job title. You can actually change this at any time. So let's say you're an operations manager or a project manager or an accountant or something like that. You don't have to just have accountant or project manager. You can make it fun. You can make it interesting. Don't go overboard, right? But you can add whatever you want to your job title. Of course, stick to like something similar to what you're doing. You're not going to like invent some random title that you're not doing, right? So stick with what you're doing, but feel free to change that because it's going to make it a little bit catchier. After the job title inside the experience section, I like to see just a little introductory paragraph about some of your overarching responsibilities. You could even talk a little bit about the company in this paragraph if you wanted, but just give us a little bit of information inside that first paragraph. You can highlight notable projects if you want. You can provide examples. You can kind of do whatever you want here, but just make sure it sounds professional. If you've ever attended a resume writing masterclass of mine, you can take that same information that we have you write on your resume under the job title, and you can actually just transfer it right into LinkedIn. Now, after paragraph 1, this is your career highlights. So kind of like think of these as the bullet points that you would have on your resume. Be very specific about which ones you decide to share here. We're not going to include an entire novel of information, but we do want something here to show the impact that we've made, any sort of results, any progress, projects, again, things like that. Think about what are your most noteworthy accomplishments, and that's what we want to have you add to your experience section. Now, after that, again, you can add skills to each work experience. So make sure you do that. Here's the thing I want you to remember though. We're not going to just all of a sudden start randomly adding skills that do not align with the industry or the position that we currently have or the position that we are going for. You need to be really intentional about the skills you add. I'll show you some screenshots in a second so that you can kind of start brainstorming which skills you want to add, but you want to think of it as skills that recruiters would be searching for to find someone like you. Now, the last section in the experience area would be featured content. If you have a PDF, a publication, a PowerPoint, a video, if you have anything like that that shows you in action, you can always add that to the experience section as well. I've been seeing a lot more of this lately, which I love. I think it's amazing. If you have something interesting and engaging to add that just kind of shows how amazing you are, get it into that featured section. In fact, here's my next question for you. Have you ever used media elements like images or videos in your experience section? So are any of you guys doing that? Feel free to tell us exactly what it is as well that you're using, or no, if you've never even considered doing that. So type yes or no into the chat. Now, really quickly, I'm going to show you a quick example of what your education is going to look like. Degree, when you got the degree, what type of degree it is. You can put all that in there. If you do not have a formal education, remember that you can also put certifications. You can put training that you're doing, professional development. You can also put your school in there if you haven't graduated. And let's say, you still have a year or 2 years left, you could put expected graduation and then leave the dates out. You don't have to put dates in. You can actually add that in the education section so that someone sees that you actually have some sort of education. If you just have training and certifications, that's okay as well. Now, when it comes to the skills, okay, this section I've wanted to get to because this is super important. LinkedIn allows you to add up to 100 skills. Again, if you've seen any of my trainings before, I do not recommend that you add up to 100 skills. I don't recommend that because it waters down your profile, and I want you to be getting endorsements for the skills that you currently have on your profile. So you can add how many you want. I would say start with like 20, 25, maybe up to 30 skills, and then make sure the top skills that you want to be endorsed for are at the very top of your list because that's what's going to show up on your homepage. So you'll notice in mine, I have LinkedIn training and resume writing. And then people that come and see my profile can endorse me for those skills, just like I could go endorse you or whatever. Your network can start endorsing you for your skills. The more endorsements you have for that certain skill set, the higher you're going to rank when a recruiter goes to search for you with that skill. So that's where we want to start asking for endorsements. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So keep that in mind. If you ever need to edit your skill or add a skill, you'll notice I have that circled. You just click on the pencil icon or click on the plus icon. The next part after your skill section is going to be your recommendations. I would love to see all of you have 3 to 5 to 7 recommendations at least on your profile. So there you have it, the 7 key areas to focus on when building the perfect LinkedIn profile. Now remember, your profile isn't just a place to list your work history, it's your personal brand, your credibility, and your opportunity to stand out in a competitive job market. And if you're ready to take this even further, I created something special just for you, my Career Advancement Toolkit AI Edition. It's packed with my best LinkedIn profile scripts, resume templates, and AI-powered prompts to help you apply what we talked about today and land interviews faster. Now, the first 20 people to grab it using the link below will get access to an exclusive offer just for this community. So don't wait on this. Check out the link in the description below. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss any videos about job search strategies and career growth. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next episode.